Today we have Grant Payton, Sales Manager with MyFarm Limited, in to talk to us about New Zealand agriculture and how things are being affected in that sector currently. Welcome, Grant.
Thank you, Ian.
Farming in New Zealand is currently producing strong returns. What are the key drivers?
There's a couple of contributing factors to that at present. One is obviously our low-cost based system or model, which is pasture-based, high productivity, and obviously as a result of that, good margins. The second of that is the growth in the developing markets, particularly Asia, and in particular China. We're seeing production growth there, we're seeing population growth, increased urbanisation, and changing taste to a more Western-style diet, and more importantly for agriculture, a change to protein-based diets. So all that's leading into what we're currently seeing in record payouts, and that's flowing through obviously to the farm gate. Under our own model of a 650 type payout, we were seeing returns of 5 to 7%. Under the current payout, those returns have lifted by about 4%. So we are seeing farms delivering returns of in that 9 to 11% bracket.
Dairy numbers are well up on past years. Is this just increased cow numbers, or has our production increased?
It's a combination of both again, Ian. So we've seen a number of conversions in the last 3 to 5 seasons in that Canterbury, Otago, Southern region. But we're also seeing the benefits of science through our system with the likes of increased productivity through breeding improvements, pasture improvements, a lot of effort going in at the management side and making sure we've got a good long lactation or a long season of milking. And so it's a combination of all the above, but we are certainly seeing significant improvements in this season alone. It's estimated to be an 8 to 9% production lift across the industry. No doubt that's assisted by last season's big drought, but nonetheless we're still seeing productivity increases, and we'll continue to see that as dairy develops further.
You mentioned there improved pastures and the likes. That to me is a great part of the whole agriculture sector, is the science. How important is science to dairy in New Zealand?
Yeah, look, science is crucial to dairying in New Zealand, to agriculture in New Zealand really. A rule of thumb is farming is really about land plus capital plus science. So farmers in general have always been known to be innovative. Provided the science is coming through, they will take that science, be innovative with it. And particularly as we get into the likes of environmental challenges that we have on farms, nutrient management, science is becoming a crucial part of that equation.
So farming is a long-term investment in what I call real assets. Does this mean that investors have to be farmers, or are there professional structures being set up to allow investors or other investors, should I say, to participate?
Yeah, historically it's probably been seen as a domain of farmers. Latterly what we're seeing, and obviously we've set up a business around this, is means and ways of introducing other investors to farming. As that becomes more common knowledge, if you like, that there's access to land and to farming, and particularly to New Zealand's biggest industry, we are getting more and more of a mix of farmer and urban investors. And often that mix is very complementary to running a good business. You've got the urban investor asking the farmer investor to justify certain decisions on farm. And that's actually, like I say, comes out with some good principles and policies and drives good governance of these businesses.
Sure. Being long-term assets, how liquid are these investments in these structures?
And a good question. That's probably been one of the downfalls of farming and access to farming, is people's concern about their liquidity. And certainly private syndicates have probably found liquidity very difficult. And that's driven on the base that they don't have the access often to people to buy out other investors should they want to get out. So in our own business model, what we're finding is we're creating means of liquidity through different investment options. So there's ways of getting in at a lower investment level of around $20,000, and so that's actually opening up a new pool of investors that can assist with liquidity. At the same time, we've got new tools or means of getting in that people can talk to the likes of yourself about to get into these businesses and out. So there is more money washing in and out, and certainly, again, through our own business, what we've been able to drive, or what we've seen in the last 12 to 18 months, is we've been able to sell and on-sell up to $12 to $15 million worth of shares in these farms. So liquidity's there, provided you've got the infrastructure and the resources to tap into it.
Look, we're very pro-New Zealand and things like that, but if you boil it down, what is the advantage of investing in New Zealand farming or New Zealand agriculture as against other countries, for example, Australia, the US, South America?
Yeah, and a number of farmers have been offshore and tried it. Ultimately, the advantage to New Zealand agriculture is our temperate climate. Comes back to those basics of farming, a low-cost model, grow plenty of grass, put it down a cow's throat, and keep those costs down. The reality is offshore, some of those environments we think are close to temperate. The reality is there's greater extremes, and so that has created challenge for a lot of farmers going offshore or investors. So certainly in New Zealand, it's a low-cost advantage. Coupled with the fact we have a big company such as Fonterra, which is a global leader, and coupled with the fact that we've got critical mass. It's New Zealand's number one industry versus Australia, which is, at a guess, 12 to 13. And so you have the industry based around it, which allows it to be successful.
Yeah, well, that's all good news, and I'm sure it's going to continue to rain and we're going to continue to grow grass. Well, Grant, my final question today is, do you see an increase in the environmentally responsible farming practices in New Zealand?
Yes, we do. Yeah, absolutely. It's becoming a major issue, if you like, within the dairy sector. It will be something which will slow down conversions. There's certain areas which they're putting nutrient caps on those regions, and as part of that cap, those regions are going to have to manage which farms get access to some of those nutrients as such. So it's definitely going to have an impact. We need to reduce our environmental footprint. That's well publicised, and that's where science comes into play again. And it's that science that's going to assist and help lead New Zealand agriculture into its next stage of growth.
Well, I, for one, have been one that likes to get down to the field days each year and have a look at what's going on, and the science that I've seen there over the last 10 or 20 years that's come through to help the agriculture sector has been amazing and certainly global leading. Overall, this all sounds very positive and a positive outlook for the New Zealand agriculture sector, and we've heard recently that the milk is called white gold, so here's hoping that it continues. And of course we have the likes of MyFarm, who specialise in farm syndication. That allows investors the opportunity to invest in farms without having to own a complete farm. This all sounds wonderful for the future development of our country. If you'd like to know any more about any of the issues raised in this interview, please contact us at S.AG Private. In the meantime, thank you, Grant, for coming in. We look forward to talking to you sometime in the future. Thank you.
Thanks very much.